even done chip design, design of very large-scale integrated circuits using a creativity machine. We've done automobile design, aircraft design. We've also recruited creativity machines to carry out information warfare, both the dark side and the light side. On the dark side, how best to carry out attacks on information infrastructures. On the positive side, how to protect, how to heal information infrastructures when under attack. Probably the greatest achievement of the creativity machine in recent years has been in building truly creative robots.
What you are watching is a crude robot being trained spontaneously by a creativity machine. Unlike popular humanoid robots controlled by human programming, this robot is in a sense dreaming and creating new ideas and plans of action. To achieve this behavior with conventional programming would be an immense task for any software designer. The creativity machine was able to accomplish it in minutes.
I think you're all aware that there are some popular science writers out there that are predicting phenomenal AI in 25 years. I've been told by people who are very high in government that my company can deliver this capability in just a couple of years.
What is the ultimate potential of the creativity machine? Applied on a large enough scale, the applications are almost limitless. What if the internet had a mind of its own? Combined with a totally autonomous, self-training artificial neural network object invented by the creativity machine called a stano, this may someday become a reality.
Currently, the internet is a vast online library that can be accessed by search engines and various intelligent agents. But I can imagine a day when that internet is actually thinking of its own, is becoming conscious. An internet that has converted many of its TCP/IP nodes into synthetic neurons. When we do that, we can essentially use the self-training artificial neural network paradigm so that this world brain can introspect, learn all available human content, and then use, of all things, human commerce as the noise in the system to perturb it to create new ideas, new plans of action to suit humanity, and to store that in an immense supernet that resides over the internet. Hollywood has anticipated the download of personality, of consciousness into machines. But they make the mistake typically of downloading into so-called von Neumann architectures where there are processing bottlenecks. And they're simply extrapolating the technology to the point where it's bright enough to absorb human consciousness. I don't think that's the case. In fact, a download to a von Neumann machine would be worse than suicide. What we need is a vehicle that looks very much, behaves very much like human consciousness. Number one, it has to be neural network based because the brain is neural network based. Secondly, it has to involve an imaginatron being watched by a perceptron so that it can develop its own stream of consciousness and a perception of that stream of consciousness. In this case, we have the capability of prolonging the illusion of consciousness by combining with something that supports that illusion. This has not been accomplished. It's just a very broad brush description of what could take place. At the most general level, this plan for immortality involves the gradual marriage of creativity machine with human cognition. So essentially, two friends living alongside one another in a small room, and the name of the game is to begin to build interconnections between them gradually until the connection density between them rivals the connection density within the human brain. At that point, consciousness can diffuse back and forth between these two housings, if you will, in a nutshell game. We can't really know for sure where consciousness is residing. Now, if the creativity machine were housed in a large enough computational vehicle, its connections, its processing units would far outnumber
its biological counterpart, and when biological death did occur, it would be as if a hangnail were dropping away.
The creativity machine paradigm also points to a way of understanding the really big picture. It may be a model for the structure of the universe itself, and even point to the existence of a cosmic consciousness.
Realize that when we think, when we generate ideas and plans of action, they are nothing more than activation patterns in the brain. One part generates, another part reacts with a judgment. Well, it turns out that there are portions of the universe that can separate from one another. And in one region, there can be a succession of patterns tantamount to our stream of consciousness. There can be also regions that react to that stream of consciousness, forming an opinion. That opinion may not correspond to our own. The ideas being generated may not correspond to our own, but nevertheless, there is a conversation going on between schizophrenic regions of space, and that qualifies as a template for our human consciousness. Memories and ideas are nothing more than activation patterns, states of the brain. When we look at the cosmos, we realize that these patterns of activation can also form there. If there is a rift somewhere in the universe where some part is activating into patterns, that's tantamount to the generation of ideas.
This is the very template of cosmic consciousness. It doesn't take very sophisticated events for this to occur, but it is very much akin to the kind of model I proposed for machine consciousness, but it's occurring naturally. Consciousness, an alien consciousness, is all around us. So all we need to do is await our senses to grow sharper, to grasp that there is life, consciousness, cognition all around us. I become an animist of sort, and everything is filled with this consciousness. My philosophy is somewhere between Darwin and creationism, because there is a cosmic consciousness out there, not what we expected, but there is a template that is guiding evolution. And we see the end result in biological evolution. We see the human brain, we see imagitrons in conversation with perceptrons, this illusionary cycle of consciousness, essentially schizophrenic matter and energy. And that's a reflection, of course, of this primordial consciousness.
Will the creativity machine one day find its way into the world at large? Ultimately, the very same forces that inspire it may decide the fate of this radically new form of artificial intelligence, as well as our own sense of pride as a species.
I believe that we're entering a judgment period. It won't be marked by any kind of apocalyptic battles or the demise of the earth. Instead, it will be marked by a great anxiety. Do we embrace this entity and its accompanying concepts, or do we carry out business as usual, eking out our existences, banging each other over the head for the last dollar? Do we keep creating cruel myths to make ourselves feel better about ourselves, and then finally dying an agonizing death? Now, in preparation for these days, I asked you to begin to ask yourselves the question: if one does not embrace and comprehend this concept, is it not tantamount to reckless homicide?